Cut to short, this panel will focus on how technology is accelerating fashion and manufacturing from faster design and sampling to smarter forecasting, compliance, traceability, and decision making. The goal is practical insights on what tech is ready today and how the industry can adopt it at scale. May I invite our moderator and panelists to kindly join us on stage. Mr. Manoj Vanwari, COO TERI. May I request Mr. Manoj Nigam, Director Style 3D, to join us. May I request Mr. Jignesh P. Jain, Director Asia, with AI Design Intelligence, to join us on stage. Requesting Mr. Aditya Khemka, CEO, Scientia AI, to join us. May I request Ms. Ankita Goyal, Director, Institute of Design and Technology, IDT, to join us. Requesting Mr. Kushan Shah, Chief Technology Product Officer, Fynd, to join us. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Manoj Vanwari. This panel will run for 40 minutes, followed by 10 minutes of audience Q&A. Thank you.
Hello, friends. A very good evening to you. And thank you very much, CMAI and the EcoStitch Awards, for giving us an opportunity to do this particular discussion out here. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Manoj Vanwari, and I'm the CEO of a brand called TERI and Refiber. So would like to tell you a small little journey of how we've evolved as Refiber, as an app which is involved in the collection and the segregation of post-consumer textile waste. This entire journey originally began as an aggregate app for the laundry business, and we impaneled close to 250 laundries across the city of Mumbai on our application. While this journey was in progress, we encountered a problem statement which was faced by our laundry channel partners, wherein they were left with a lot of apparel which customers were not collecting. In addition to that, their own customers had a lot of apparel which they did not know how to discard, wherein we decided to incorporate a recycle and earn feature into our TERI app. The response that we got was pretty phenomenal, and we decided to completely restructure it to a new app by the name of Refiber. Using the TERI logistics pickup and tracking mechanisms, we are using the entire same thing to have efficient delivery and logistics mechanism for the entire process. So from the customer perspective, they're getting a kind of value for the discarded apparel for which they were getting nothing once upon a time, which includes laundry credits as well as gift vouchers against it. This is how the entire journey of TERI and Refibers evolved over the last 2 years. So handing over to my colleague, Mr. Manoj, would like you to say something about your organization.
Good evening, all of you here. My name is Manoj Nigam. I am from Style 3D. We are basically into digital product development. As we all discussed since this morning about fast fashions. And when we talk about fast fashion, you need to do a lot of R&Ds because people are waiting for new fashions, new trends. The other side of it, the designer always has to be there on toes. So there are A approach and there are B approach. There are a lot of designers who make these sketches, they make the patterns, they arrange the fabrics, then they do stitchings, and they give it to their merchandising team to sell the concept. Whereas as Style 3D, our approach is basically You don't cut the patterns. You don't stitch the patterns. You don't use the accessories. So we have capabilities to design the garments just by prompt, because lots of designer, they needs what they are looking forward for, so they can do the prompt. And even then, further, we have prompt enhancer. They can choose any prompt out of 5 or 6 prompt which is given by AI. And the moment they upload it, they can get a lot of variation of the designs. And after that, they can choose what they like. And also, we have a capabilities to enhance those particular fashion they have chosen. So by doing so, you are not cutting any patterns, you are not cutting any fabric, you are not dealing with any stitches. So ultimately, it's more sustainable approach. Eventually, you have to make the garments, but not a lot of garments. So this is the mantra of our company, to make everything digitally. Digital product design, and also once you have a one design ready, you can also do the, you can go to our 3D modules, you can do digital sampling, you can take your customer overboard, you can show online whether they like the garments, fits, etc., and freeze it there. There is no need to cut the garment, stitch the garment, and send here and there. So this is our company in a nutshell. We do digital fashion and digital sampling.
Jignesh bhai, something about myth.ai, please.
Good evening, everyone. Well, little short of words today because it's been exhausting too.
Yes.
We've had a booth, and I guess CMAI has done a fantastic job this time. Congratulations to the team. Well, a bit about me. I have been a serial entrepreneur for about less than 14 years. Built about 3 companies in the past. Started my journey very young. But technology being, the oxygen for me. So coming from gaming and entertainment, then education, fashion and design was something very close to my heart since my childhood. And that kind of gave me enough fuel for the fire to build something very unique, very modern, and more for the betterment of this industry. As we know, AI has almost taken over in every other industry as well. Fashion and textile is something which it's always debatable, by the way, right? Everybody debates, can AI really generate designs, or can AI really match up to what humans can do? The answer is, as far as you can train your AI model, yes. It can just do everything that you want it to do. So yes, here I am. We represent Myth AI. We are an all-in-one AI platform which democratizes use of AI across design in the fashion and textile industry. Pretty much helping the sustainability aspect with reduce of your product uptime, like a heavy reduction of cost on the sampling. And yes, of course, feel free, if you all are here, please walk to the theme pavilion and take a look at our booth and everything that we are doing, which is magic. So thanks once again, Manoj, and I look forward to this interactive session with everyone.
Aditya, up to you. Let's hear something about Scientia.
Hello, am I audible? Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Aditya Khemka. I am the CEO and the co-founder of Scientia AI Private Limited. My journey started back in 2023, wherein I was in my family business of textiles, from weaving to dyeing to printing. And the major issue that we were facing was of increasing the productivity of the people in the whole value chain to improve every step so we can increase the production and give more to the customer that we are serving. So that is where I started my journey of building Scientia AI. Our primary tool called textiledesigner.ai is basically everything, a one-stop solution for your designing needs. It starts right from like generating new designs up till printing those designs on the fabric. So it reduces the time drastically. Again, it reduces the sampling cost. And I feel like AI adoption in India is at that pace or point wherein for my family business, it was really very difficult for me to implement that AI to every employees that we had. So AI should be more focused, like sustainable. Obviously, AI will make our workforce or our work in general more sustainable in the longer run. But I feel like we should focus more on implementing the AI use cases downright to every people in the whole chain that we have, the value chain that we have. And that is why we are launching 2 new things here in this very amazing CMAI Fab Show. That is, the first one is the DaaS platform. So basically that is design as a service. If your designers cannot adapt to AI, even though you tried a lot to make them adapt to it, if they cannot adapt, we have our own team which will help you induce the AI flow in the whole design direction that you have. And the second thing is we are implementing 44 AI agents across the verticals or the value chain of textiles, right from weaving up until retail shops, wherein there are different agents for different needs of every other client that you're serving. So that is about me.
Ankit, something about your wonderful achievements in AI education.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So very good evening, everyone. And first of all, I would like to give my regards and thanks to CMAI for giving us this platform so that we can speak about our achievement and our, what we have done till now. So basically, yes, I am Ankita Goyal, Director of Institute of Design and Technology. And for the past 15 years, we are engaged into providing education in the field of fashion design, digital textile, print, and various other industrial-related courses. But with the advent of AI, over the past few months, through IDT and through our industry initiatives, we have trained more than 20,000 professionals on artificial intelligence, how you can use AI in fashion, textile, and apparel industry. So what I have observed during this entire journey of mine is, creating awareness is one of the foremost thing. Like in today's time, if you talk about if I talk about AI, then yes, this is not a relevant question that what is AI? Everyone is aware what is AI. But the biggest issue is, do you know what work AI can do for you? And do you know how you can implement it into your daily process of your designing? So this is the task that we as an individual, as an organization, as a training institute, we are training the young minds plus the people who are already into this industry for past so many years, that how you can implement various tools of artificial intelligence into your working. So yes, thank you.
Yeah, Kushan, something about you, please.
Hi, everyone. I represent Fynd. I lead technology and product for Fynd. At Fynd, our view is that over the next decade, entire retail and manufacturing supply chain will become not just AI native, but autonomous over time. And we've been enabling that across multiple deployments. So retail fundamentally has been an inventory risk problem, right? What to buy, how much to buy, where to keep, and in what proportion to keep. And if we were to implement AI across the supply chain, it would mean that you would have to have a parallel team of AI agents at each part of the retail workflow, right from demand planning, trend analysis, understanding your brand, developing designs, mood boards, concepts, and then across supply chain, right to your sourcing network. So that's what we do. We enable this at scale. Our view is that AI need not be generic for each and every company. Each and every company would have its own workflows. So we enable personalized AI for retail across the entire supply chain. That's where we are headed.
So what we have here is a wonderful panel of 4 people with a wonderful set of products, and we have Ankita, who can educate everyone how to use the entire thing. So, it's a very, very interesting gathering of people out here. So, Manojji, my first question goes to you. You have a background in robotics and physics. How does soft body simulation in style really help a manufacturer achieve minimum waste in garment development?
You see, we are very rigorously advocating that when you do any design, you adopt digital fashion. Because since morning, what we are talking about here is sustainability. We are also telling our customer the same story. Because we are living in the era of fast fashion. We cannot make it slow. When we have a fast fashion, we have to deal with a lot of sampling. Rather than physical sampling, we are very much capable of doing a digital sampling, digital design and digital sampling. So if you adopt these practices, you can save a lot of materials, a lot of times, a lot of carbon footprint. So this is what we are going and telling industries. We cannot do absolute reduction of fabric utilizations, but we can mitigate a lot of it.
Jignesh bhai, this question goes out to you. Myth.ai claims a 65% reduction in design carbon footprint. How does moving from manual strike-offs to instant generation patterns fundamentally change the waste math? Also, how does it add to speed and better return on investment?
Yep. Like I started with the introduction, previously you would toy with the idea of using AI. Now we are in an era where AI is so advanced at the moment where, like Aditya said, right? I mean, agents have been deployed, which is reducing human dependency as such. Generative AI, when we began, first of all, we have a proprietary LLM. We are not dependent on any OpenAI platforms or Gemini. So we've trained our own data sets, billions of data sets that surround our model. And as a user, you can train your own AI model as well. So the accuracy is something where, as far as your data is clean and digitally oriented, I think the AI model will do a fantastic job. Speaking of reduction of carbon footprint, I mean, that's a broad term, but I will break it down. In the design journey, you are basically not having any dependency on papers or sketches or, right from the canvas, the whole legacy. So most of it is now digitally controlled, where you're using prompts to create the designs. You're using digital image inputs as references to create, a plethora of same variations of the designs. That further navigates down to implementing a hand-picked design from that, overlaying that on a silhouette or creating a 3D mock-up, mapping the fabric at the scale, with the 1:1 ratio. Going further, even within that, you can create your catalogs, photo shoots. And all of this is without physical sampling. So I don't even have to think of the effort that AI is doing. And maybe over a period of time, 65% will be like a meager, like a smaller proportion in this process. So yes, the answer is a whole lot of yes, where this is going to help in not just reduction of carbon footprint, but a lot of wastage that used to happen in this industry, and we very well all are aware of. This industry contributes to the maximum waste ever created in the production of a fabric, the printed fabric, the washes of the denim, the stitching, and when you have the last mile product. So, as we see, and once we see the democratization of AI, it's going to be an effect, right? You call it a reverse domino effect, where everyone is automatically going to understand what are carbon credits, how they will be directly or indirectly contributing to the ecosystem. And that by default is in some way, the part of the 17 goals of sustainability. And within this process, you will understand the speed, right? All the manual labor the designers used to take. And even today, I wouldn't deny, but yes, we do see examples where a lot of designers have a certain style, have a certain way of creating, their own designs. What they're forgetting in the process is they can clone themselves and actually let, the AI do the work. Which also means you are reducing a lot of effort as a human, but just if your model is trained enough, it will start giving you designs with the same level of accuracy that you ever did. So speed is unmatched. I mean, now that I can spill the bean, right? My presentation was not ready last night, but since we canceled this, I just built a very, very beautiful and a detailed prompt. And I used a tool that I will not reveal. But my presentation was ready in less than 15 minutes. And when I read it, I almost felt it is manually made by me, because it just mimicked my style, my language, my mind, and perhaps the design aesthetic as well overall. So at the speed, I think it's not even debatable anymore, right? At the way things are happening around the world, and with, once again, the way AI agents are working in different processes involved, right from yarn to printing to stitching, and the process automation that you will see from now on. You just have to be open to receive, is what I would say. And all of this gets encircled with a solid ROI, which is going to help manufacturers, brand owners, label owners save tons of costs and time, which is going to compound and build their ROI.
Sure. I have another question for you. I'll give you some relational information as to the problem that we faced at O3. We have a wonderful platform and a backend ERP for our laundry service providers, wherein the entire backend process is giving them automation. Right from the time of taking pictures of the apparel, creating a digital wardrobe, generating QRs against each order item-wise, giving a complete transparent traceability and accountability. And also there is a two-way communication via in-app chat, in-app quiz, QC, in-app calling. The challenge that we faced is that our channel partners are having a very strong resistance to adapt to it. How would you overcome this resistance? And this is a pretty valid question for all of you.
Everyone, yes, technically everyone. And
so adaptability, how do people adapt? Because we are undergoing major challenges in making our partners adapt to this new technology.
Right. Brilliant. I think very thought-provoking, and I guess everyone's gonna be asking this, not just as designer, but even other people, where how can you break the resistance? Well, as an educator, and of course, Ankita would relate to it, we have a lack of awareness in this part of the world. And that's to build the chain of command. The first is to build awareness. Usability is a percolation of how well aware a certain individual is. Adaptation is the second step, which clearly means that when they see examples, when they are listening or getting educated for a certain subject, what really matters is, again, yes, before anything, they have to be open to receive.
Absolutely.
So before everything, I mean, these are the things involved much ahead in the game. But yes, the answer to your question is, as far as individuals are open to receive, break the barriers, and not feel insecure more than anything else, things will just happen.
Yeah. I would really like to add something to what he's saying, because this is a very relevant thing that everybody is facing. And when we are training the employees of any brand, this is one of the most important part, that the people hesitate. They hesitate not because they do not want progress, but they hesitate because they are worried. They are worried that whether AI will replace them, or whether their years of experience will become irrelevant, or whether this new way of working, whether they are going to learn this new way of working. So all these questions are in their mind, and that is the reason the first and most important part is education, where we need to make them understand what AI can and what AI cannot do. Artificial intelligence can never replace human intelligence, right? But yes, at the same time, this is also very important that if you do not know AI, then the people who are having the knowledge of artificial intelligence, they will replace you. So they need to understand it right now if they want to move ahead, you want to compete into this particular market.
Aditya, next question to you. How do AI agents help a traditional Indian MSME monitor Scope 3 emissions, the hardest part of the supply chain to track?
So I believe like AI agents can do anything and everything, right from the tracking of the suppliers, the materials, to the end product, for that matter. They can guide them what is the shortest route to get those garments in, what is the right supplier, which is the closest supplier that you have. Because people might not be aware about the people around them. For example, I might have a supplier like whom I want to get the product from, right 3 kilometers away from me. But now I'm buying the same material or same goods from a supplier far away. But when all of these datas are there in one place, and when you connect the dots across the ocean, I think people will be more open to adapt to the closer vendors, closer suppliers, who would deliver them better goods at better prices, at lower emission cost, basically. So that is where I think AI agents can take and give an understanding to everyone. Like, this is how the textile value chain should work. And this is where you should connect with this person, that person, so on and so forth.
I wanted to add something. I mean, again, because since we kind of got hit back in the Stone Age with human resistance, but we also lack a digital ecosystem. Kushan has possibly done a fantastic job with what Fynd is doing, right? Because you're literally putting all the Lego pieces together and creating that ecosystem overall. But yes, to add to what Aditya was saying, to make all of this work efficiently and in a smooth way, as manufacturers, retailers, buying houses, designers, if we step forward with a digital-first mindset, accessibility of data is going to become better for you. You may not find it relevant today, but over a period of years where things, yes, we are in a digital era, but this industry specifically needs a lot more intervention. The big boys, of course, they have it all covered, right? But think of SMEs, think of micro. All of these enterprises also need to kind of build that digital-first mindset, digitize their data, or usability of ERPs, and the cross-functional, the talking that the applications really need to do. Then the agents would rather become a boon for every part of the value chain.
I think I agree with him. So when there are a lot of people who are getting in touch with me and then asking, like, how should I implement this AI agent in my infrastructure. How can I do this? How can I do that? My first answer to everyone, right? In India, we have one problem. The problem is writing it down on a paper. Digitize all your data. When you have a digital infrastructure ready of your data, of your present, of your past, I think adapting to these infrastructures, AI agents and everything will be very seamless. So I think the first thing as Indians we should do is to adapt to digitizing any and every data that we have currently. And going forward, it will be very easy for us to enable the whole AI infrastructure.
Absolutely. Just to add to this, Aditya, you know, even at this exhibition, there are so many visitors, everybody's picking up cards. What happens to those visiting cards at the end of the exhibition? That's something which you have to put a thought to. Ankita ji, this question is...
I would also like to add a few things, what you have said about the adaptability. I will talk little positivity here. You know, good old days in 90s, when AI was not there, we come up with this 2D pattern development, pattern design, gradings, and so on and so forth. And in those days, in early 90s, there were a lot of resistance by these pattern masters. And pattern master used to have all the card. So buyers, so customers, the owner was saying, no. But eventually, after a lot of efforts and all those things, now every company, every nook and corner, they have a 2D CAD system. And now I see the same thing happening in AI. It's happening slowly because our number of projects are getting increased after every month, every year. So it happens. It's happening now. So the positive part of it, yes, there was some problem, but people are now talking about it. We are getting the calls and we're giving the presentations. And I think we are all 4 or 5% here. We cannot go each and every company. But it will happen. It will happen. The cascading effect will happen.
Absolutely, because in the earlier days, the banking sector and the government sector itself was completely anti-digitization and anti-computerization. But today, the way your income tax returns are filed and your bank transactions happen, it's amazing. It's taken around 25 years for this transformation. I hope the transformation in this field happens much faster. So Ankita ji, there is a question specifically directed at you. You're doing something which is wonderful as an educator, and you're creating a complete ecosystem of students. And students are the future for the country. You launched India's first AI-powered fashion design course. Are we training students to be prompt engineers or fashion designers? Where is the balance you feel?
A very relevant question, sir, first of all. So yeah, when we talk about AI in fashion, so it is not about replacing designers with prompt engineers. It is about, evolving the role of a designer. So if at IDT, we basically train students to first of all have the ability of creativity. You understand about fabric, you understand about trend, you understand about market, and then use AI as a tool while writing the prompts. Right? So it is a combination of both. So in today's time, prompting is a new way of communication. It is a design language. So the core is design thinking. You must understand how you can create something, how you can think beyond, how you can develop the concepts, and then use AI as a tool. So the core is design thinking, and the tool is maybe AI and prompt skills. So yes, once again, in today's time, learning only the traditional way of designing is not enough, and learning only prompt engineering or AI is not enough. You need a blend, a beautiful blend of both.
Kushan, this is a question diverted towards you. You manage tech for some of India's largest retailers. How does endless aisle, omni-channel tech prevent the dead stock problem, which is perhaps the biggest sustainability failure in retail?
Yeah, I'll touch upon the earlier point on adaptability as well with regards to the vendor partner and come to this one, right? So what you've seen is that typically teaching an individual to become AI native is a function of how they adapt. whether they are open to receive, as Jignesh mentioned, right? This problem compounds increasingly when we are applying the same principles to an organization, because it's a collection of individuals. Everybody has their own biases. Everybody has a certain taste. Everybody applies AI in a certain way. What you notice is patterns that have worked well for us, where we've seen that a lot of this change needs to happen top down. If the leader of the company believes that this is possible and then does it, creates an example, then that change typically flows a lot faster than something that would flow bottom up. Two, everybody needs an incentive to win. And that incentive needs to be aligned with what they're doing on a day-to-day level. So if both of these things together happen, I think the entire organization then starts breaking down on that path. With regards to your other problem on the question that you mentioned, right? A lot of that behavior has shifted across the board, right? We have been used to getting our groceries in 10 minutes. And we've been used to getting our fashion delivered in 2 days, and companies have spoiled us by getting it delivered next day or even 60 minutes now. That change has not allowed retailers to keep pace of where they keep their inventory. And you would also see that problem when you walk into a store where you go to any of a store, you want to find a size, it's not available, and you ask your store manager, they would not even know that it's stored in your back office. It's because that retailer has not digitized their inventory, not unified their inventory across their supply chain. And a lot of that leads to broken discovery. A lot of that doesn't allow customers sitting in one part of the country to order from elsewhere. So, and to solve this, all of these things need to come together, right? With regards to how, and one of the views that we've taken with the customers that we work with is that while personalization has helped customers discover things better, it also needs to be applied to each and every retail store. So each and every retail store serves a unique catchment. What works for Bandra doesn't work for Borivali, right? So every store has to have a very personalized assortment for the catchment that it serves. And that enables, these principles enable retailers to actually place inventory well, and then ensure that that inventory is then available digitally, unified across all your touch points, whether it is your .com, whether it's your mobile app, whether you're selling on marketplaces, whether you're selling in store. Once that is done, you only produce what is required to serve that catchment and not produce in excess, and then critically start listening to demand signals from all your touch points to understand, okay, what do I do next? Do I test and scale? Should I produce a next batch with certain amount of variations? So all of these things need to come together, and that's how we started attacking the problem across the spectrum.
Wonderful. For the better interest of time, since we are running a little late, I would like to throw one question to all of you. What if you get a text message, instead of saying good morning to you early in the morning, that you're fired from your job with the advent of AI? We've heard of this just a couple of days back. What is your take on this?
The room went silent, sir.
I would say that we should every day learn the new skill. We should not be stagnant in our approach. I think we should welcome the new word.
Absolutely.
That's the way to go ahead.
Yeah.
I think, as ma'am rightfully said, like AI is not there to replace human. It is to amplify them. But again, adaptation and then amplification happens. So that is the sweet spot that you have to know about. So not to get that text.
Absolutely.
That no one wants.
It's adaptation. Now, something would you like to add?
I have a slightly different take on this. I think we should be ready with the mindset that and I'll give more context also. So earlier, 2023 when ChatGPT launched, right, it was barely able to keep a sentence or tie sentences together. And all of you have been using things that have matured over the last 2.5 to 3 years now. The rate at which model evolution is happening, we need to live with the fact that models will keep improving at a pace, and intelligence is available across the board for all of us. Intelligence is there for us to compound, but it will very likely happen that what we are doing right now in our jobs, it will probably no longer, at least 60 to 70% of it will no longer be relevant, and we need to like prepare ourselves, gear up, and start picking on horizontal skills that will help us become more productive over time. So I think that reality is something that is going to happen. It's a matter of time whether AI takes it, whether somebody else takes it. If we are paranoid enough to avoid and prepare for that, I think we'll be much more better prepared for what is going to hit us this year and over the next couple of years.
Ankita, your take on this?
Yeah, not exactly like हाँ अगर ये message किसी के पास भी आएगा तो obviously उसको थोड़ा सा worried होगा, but I'll share one thing. Firing दूर की बात है, but exactly what is happening in today's time in my institute basically, if I'll give some work to my people, then they do it in a friction of minute, right? And the more time is taken in approvals. So it is again on me. I am not giving them the approval. The work is done like 2 days back. So now they are sitting idle because they do not have any work. They've already done the work. So now maybe the firing is because of this. It could be because of this.
Anything you would like to add, Jignesh?
I just wanted to have the last word.
I have one last question for everyone. This is with respect to CMAI.
Okay. Well,
By 2030, will a physical sample be a luxury or a relic of a past?
speed is a luxury today, right? So I'm just going to go back quickly to, I'll come to this for sure.
Yeah.
So AI, I mean, humans interpret that AI is replacing them, which rather is not the case, because as humans, we've evolved. Adaptability is in our innate nature. And of course, just connecting the dots to what Kushan said, we just have to be prepared. If you're prepared to upskill, not because you're a part of an organization, but as an individual yourself. So I don't think so. In any form, humans will perish, but or at least at the advent of AI, absolutely not. But if we upskill, if we are ready to learn and constantly hustling to make sure that you're not as an individual, you're not limited to your skills. So you can always learn new skills, and you might do better to what you're doing today. And now coming to the
Sample
million-dollar question, right? I think this is like a little kick in the butt to many, right? Because if sampling is gone, that we all know how it works right now. So I would say sampling should not go in the dark. It has to exist, because we live in a world where touch and feel is important. We need that human touch / the feel of a fabric. And when you wear something, how comfortable you can be in it. But of course, it should not destroy everything that is built around it. But I would say let technology do its play. And obviously not a relic in the past. So for sure, with time, 10 years down the line, and yes, there's so much technology, even at the fiber level today, where we are in nanotech already. I'm wearing a completely recycled, trouser made out of a recycled fabric right now. So I think the circular economy, once you start seeing the reflection, and when it kind of starts reflecting in every aspect of this industry, that's where it would do justice.
Thank you. And to the audience, thank you to this wonderful panel for educating us. Just a last ending statement. over the years, we've seen a lot of brands, a lot of products coming by. We had BlackBerry. BlackBerry did not adapt to Android. We had Nokia, which was the biggest smartphone brand once upon a time. They stuck to the Symbian OS system and they did not go ahead, and the Android brands ate them away. Whoever has not adapted over a period of time has become obsolete. So what I have understood, and what we all understand here is, it's a time to start treating AI as a boon and not as a threat, and start adapting to AI. In the early computing days, people were very afraid to use computing devices. But today our smartphones and our kids are using those phones in a manner that, we during our time were not even using personal computers because of the exposure, and they've adapted. So you should not never feel that AI is there as a threat. It is there as a boon, and a very, very high productive boon. It will only help in scaling up businesses, getting the circular economy into a proper structure, into a proper space. And thank you once again, everyone, for being a part of this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, speakers. I would now like to call on stage Mr. Naveen Sainani to felicitate our speakers. Mr. Manoj Manwari. Mr. Manoj Nigam. Mr. Jignesh P. Jain. Mr. Aditya Khemka. Ms. Ankita Goel. Mr. Kushan Shah. Thank you, speakers, for the wonderful session. We have come to an end of our last panel session of Conclave, thanking each and every one of you for your presence.